Today I present to you the gatekeeper of all gatekeepers. His name is Adam Schwab. He's co-founder and CEO of Luxury Escapes, where you can go spend thousands and thousands of dollars going on a vacation. But he wrote this post titled, "If you love work from home, maybe you're a task filler," and I'm going to read it to you, but I'm definitely not going to read it to you from this tiny little picture. Before I do, I got to say, I think that this is just one of those say a bunch of dumb things that will get a bunch of people upset, and then you get engagement, and then that boosts you up in the algorithm. So this is the news site where his opinion piece got posted. He starts off by saying, "The ceasefire ended last week after the world's richest man, Elon Musk, set the benchmark and finally ordered Tesla office workers back to work." Let's come down here. For the vast majority of workers, such as nurses, teachers, chefs, truck drivers, and manufacturers, working from home is impossible. There's teledoctors now. Teachers, you ever gone to an online class before? Chefs, obviously, you should probably go to where the chef is making food if you want to eat that food. Truck drivers, duh. But truck drivers are sleeping in their trucks, so they're kind of working from home. And manufacturers, obviously, you have to go somewhere to produce the thing, if that's where the equipment is, and so on and so forth. But, I mean, at least think about your examples, Adam. Work from home advocates argue that permanent remote work allows for greater flexibility and converts wasted hours of commuting into well-deserved leisure time. Well, if they don't have to drive into work, they can sit on the couch and do nothing. I don't think that's how it works for everyone. I'm sure people are doing a lot of things with the extra time that they have from not having to commute. But that doesn't mean it's going to be leisure time, like automatically. Like, oh, I don't have to commute, I'm going to do nothing and just take vacation. It doesn't matter anyways, because if they're commuting, you're not paying them for that commute, most likely. So why does it matter what they do? This argument isn't very good. But simply because some people love staying in tracksuits, turning on Zoom, and not opening the front door other than for their Uber Eats to... You see what I mean with the gatekeeping? The king of gatekeeping, if you work from home. Tracksuits. You don't have to think about what you wear. You don't have to care about fashion, blah, blah, blah. Turning on Zoom and not opening the front door other than their Uber Eats delivery, because you're all just fat slobs now that you work at home and you just order food in all day. My kids love watching their iPads and eating chocolate, but that doesn't mean they should spend all day watching Bluey and eating Easter eggs. So your kids are not your workers. There's that difference, number one, and no amount of you calling them company family will change that. And number two, not all work-from-home workers are just sitting around doing nothing. And if they are sitting around in a tracksuit, who cares? They don't have to be in an office around you. Why do you care so much what they're doing? Now he's going to tell you why working from home is bad for you, the worker. You finish at 4:30 to make dinner and watch Netflix. That may sound like fun, because you're just a lazy POS, apparently. I don't know. That's what this guy kind of makes people out to be like if you work from home. Just... yeah, you make dinner, you get off work, watch Netflix, continue to do nothing all day because you're just a lazy slob. There is ever-increasing data that shows employees who work from home are suffering from increased loneliness and isolation. So there's a couple things about this here. You can be alone in a room full of people. And then number two, I don't know if the solution to loneliness and isolation is coming to the office. And you might want it to be the solution because it fits your narrative to get people to come back. Oh, you're feeling lonely because you're at home by yourself? Come to the office, we'll fix that. There's many other ways. You can just go work with someone else who's working from home. You got a couple homies that are also remote, go hang out with them, go work at Starbucks together. You don't have to stay at home all day alone by yourself with your door closed just because you work at home. And then also on top of that, you say there is increasing data that shows employees who work from home, yet you don't cite this data anywhere. You don't link to it. You don't show any studies. A study from the American Psychiatric Association found that most workers experience negative mental health effects. Can you link that study? But it's not just mental health that suffers. So now we're at the conclusion that your mental health is suffering, yet there's no links to any data or studies. He says, the ability to progress a career is materially jeopardized by working from home. Now get this. He just admits to nepotism. The best way to get a promotion is to be close to the person doing the promoting. It's not what you know, it's who you blow. Just be friends with the people at the top. Just be buddy-buddy. Be a suck-up. Everybody knows this. I wouldn't want to work for you or your team just because you said that. Just because you make it clear it's not what you know, it's who you know. Not only do younger team members lose the ability to learn... Okay, hold on. I feel like this isn't exclusive to just young people. Young and old people might have difficulties working from home, but Nice try, because you want to target the young people here. They also lose the chance to showcase their abilities. If you have a job that can be done from home, then chances are your abilities are on the computer, and then you can just share your screen. Boom, now you're showcasing your ability. If you want to talk about being like a salesperson and communicating with clients and that sort of thing, sure, there might be some merit to being in person and being able to see body language and stuff like that. I'm not going to deny that, but you could still showcase your work. Work from home is perfect for task fillers, people who are content in their role but don't want to create real value or show initiative. Oh, the no true Scotsman, just right in here. They don't want to create real value, so they're going to create fake value. It robs ambitious younger team members of the opportunity to grow. See, this is just BS right here, because I had an engineering job where I had to come into the office. I was very ambitious. I was looking for opportunities to grow, always going to my bosses with ideas. Oh, my boss has to ask his boss, and his boss has to ask his boss, and so on. And everything just gets locked up in bureaucracy anyways. Just because you're a young team member with ambition doesn't mean that's going to work out for you. It might, or you might just get your wings clipped like I did, and that, hey, go back to your cubicle and do the things we say. All right, here we go. Are you ready for this? I've discussed this in a few videos, but if your job can be done from Brighton, it can probably also be done from Bangalore, Johannesburg, for a lot cheaper. So he's making the argument that's saying, if you're remote, then what's stopping your company from going to a cheaper country and just using them to do your work for you? And by you wanting to work at home, you're prompting them to check out the other opportunities of cheaper remote work in other countries, possibly. But I think that if a company wants to save money and they want to outsource, it's not going to matter if you want to work from home or not. If your company says, hey, we want to save money, the accountants at the building, they're all being outsourced somewhere else now. Like, it doesn't matter if you're at the office or at home. If they decide your department is worth outsourcing, they're going to do it, whether or not they have a building for you to drive to. Maybe you're just a bad business leader if you just now realized, wait, my employees work from home? That means I could do it for cheaper outside the country or somewhere else. Like, if you're just now realizing that, you're probably just like a really bad executive, because I feel like most executives have known this for quite some time. There are plenty of legitimate reasons why you wouldn't go hire someone for cheaper outside the country just because you can. Like security issues, government contracts. Like in the United States, I worked remote for the government, and I wasn't allowed to leave the country, and they weren't allowed to discuss matters with certain people if you were located outside the country. Second, we have time zones. Third, we have culture differences, how people work, when people work, all those things. And then we have translation issues as well. That can be a real thing. So yes, technically you might be able to get task A done for cheaper over there, but will it be up to your standard? Will you have difficulties doing it, or is price all you care about? This is already slowly happening in some large Australian organizations. Slowly happening? This is nonsense. This has been happening forever. Outsourcing has been going on forever. But working from home isn't just bad for team members, it's also bad for business. Tell me why it's bad for business, because you can't see me. The loss of productivity with the staff out of the office has been well documented. Can you link to any of these things that you're stating? Nope. No links. No stats. No reports. Just whatever he wants to say. The loss of productivity with staff out of the office has been well documented, but far worse than losing face time is losing the ability to collaborate. You're going to gatekeep what collaborate means, meaning you and I have to be physically in the same space to collaborate. So let's gatekeep that word some more. The capacity to feed off energy, enthusiasm, and ideas of colleagues creates real magic. You got to love when they go woo-woo with you. That's my favorite. Okay, look, we know that there's just some secret special sauce to having everyone in the office, okay? We just call that, it's just real magic. We can't quantify it or describe it, but we just know that it exists. That's how these CEOs talk about coming back to the office. They can't quantify it. They can't really describe it. They just say, it just works, and we're doing it. When team members become task fillers, organizations no longer create and evolve. I mean, maybe that's on management for letting your stay-at-home workers become task fillers. The biggest problem for business, though, especially in a labor market that remains highly constrained, is that work from home commoditizes your workforce. A software developer or accountant working from home is far more likely to accept a slightly more lucrative job offer. Why? Because if they work from home, they no longer have any intrinsic connection to the employer. Going to the office, commuting to work, doesn't give you an intrinsic connection to the employer. Is this what you think? Because that's nonsense if you think commuting makes people feel loyal to their jobs, but okay, sure. He goes on to say, research shows, without linking to any of the research, that having friends at work significantly increases engagement and, unsurprisingly, loyalty. Okay, so there we go. CEO talking about loyalty in 2022. You know he's off his rocker. Don't care about them. Just do your job. It's all just business. That's what they're going to tell you as they walk you out with security guard while they're firing you because they made poor choices with the business and now you pay the price. He says, smart employers use the office environment not as a cost center, but as a retention tool. So get a bunch of novel attractions, give a bunch of free perks out, and then people will think that your company is cool and will become loyal to you because of having a cool office. I feel like this is maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Having the coolest office was a way to like stand out on LinkedIn or a day in the life videos. You know, everyone was like, look at how cool my office is. Look at how much work we never do because all we do is play with the perks, I guess. I don't know. Real connections with colleagues are far more important to most people than a pay raise. To the viewers that watch this video, how do you feel about that? Do you have 99 problems and all of them could be solved by a raise in pay? I'm joking, but I think most of us know we would prefer to have a pay raise than, I mean, you can have both. Why can't you have both? To be honest, why can't you have real connections with colleagues and a pay raise? But sure, you're going to tell me that most people think that having relationships with people at work that they probably don't talk to after they step out of work or hang out with outside of work or have anything in common with outside of work would prefer to know those people than to be able to take more money home to their family. Connections with your colleagues is nice, but it doesn't pay your bills. Businesses that work hard to create the best environments will soak up this talent. Yeah, I think you went to one too many conferences, my dude. What will not work is you deciding what works best for all of your employees. That's boomer logic right there. Like, give your employees the opportunity, the choice, the flexibility to decide how they work best. I mean, as long as the proof is in the pudding, right? As long as they're getting the work done, reliable, all that sort of thing. Why not allow them that choice to set up what works best for them if you're happy with how everything else is going? Nope. You want to decide what works best by creating the best environment according to you, not to the people doing the work. Others, like the big lazy corporates or government bodies, will attract a different type of worker, the task filler, and that's fine too. This guy is such a dingus, dude. Zoom, the ultimate work-from-home stock, has seen its share price slump more than 80%. It's now trading lower than when the pandemic started. So first of all, this is how I know you're a boomer, because Zoom is not the only software in the world that exists to communicate on the internet or get work done. So using them as the sole indicator that work from home is on its way out, at least that's what I think you're trying to do here, is insane. And everything that you have written, I wish I was illiterate, to be honest, because what you're saying here makes no sense. It's covered up with gatekeeping. You keep saying data shows, research shows, plenty of studies show, yet link to none of the studies or anything like that. You just make a bunch of assumptions and assume what's best for other people, which is a problem. So anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and click that like button, click that subscribe button if you'd like to see me call out corporations some more, since I know you can't call them out, or you'll probably get fired or get in trouble or put on a PIP, or that won't happen to me since no one's ever going to hire me again. Go ahead and send me everything you got if you want to. You can send it to me on my email, grindreel@gmail, Discord, Instagram, however you want to do it. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys for the next one.